Hi, and welcome to MTG. My name is Ken, and today we are playing a kind of an older deck of mine that I've had for quite a while. Rona, Herald of Invasion, a Demir Control-y Legends Matter deck with a lot of draw and a lot of discard. So hopefully enjoy that. This is kind of a more chill video. I wanted to use it kind of as an opportunity to maybe share a few of my thoughts on kind of all the crazy stuff that's been coming out about the arena algorithm and all the information that's come out about that. But yeah, without further ado, let's just jump into some games. Okay. Ooh, Vadrik. This is a spell slingery combo build, I believe. But our opening hand has a counter spell. So that is good. Because I feel like we're going to get countered a lot too. It's going to be a battle of the counters. I mean, we don't have that many. But opponent is mulliganing very hard. They are in search for something. They put one card back. So we have an advantage. We're one card ahead of the opponent. Maybe we've got this. It's curious to see now with all the let's see, Vadrik. Wash away is nice. We won't be able to go for Vadrik anyways, so let's go for the Ledger Shredder. Now that we have the kind of the big leak of all the algorithm related stuff with HellQ and how they, categorize each deck, super curious to kind of reflect and see, okay, well, what do my decks usually fall? I feel of all my decks, this one would probably reach pretty high because this is, I mean, Demir, it's got counter magic, it's got some nasties, I would probably say this deck finds itself higher up on the power list. Okay, if we go for this, we can put down the Mox Amber. Do they have a wash away? They do have a wash away. Casts. I mean, I can't use my own wash away, but that's fine. We'll just use it next turn. So we can't sadly counterspell next turn. Do we want to loot? Yeah, sure, might as well. Or not loot, knife, that's the word. I know things. I think we'll get rid of the virtue. Yeah, that seems fine. So we do have the wash away if they do go for Vadrik. But anyway, I was talking about the it's interesting to see kind of what categorizes. I know they talked a lot about removal spells kind of all hitting the same points. I think it was 700 points to add to your kind of deck total, as well as things like Urtai Resurrected, Childred, things like that are quite oh, take that. Wash away also high. But yeah, I mean, it's all interesting. We'll do this because then we will be able to actually use our Mox Amber. Draw a card. Perfect. Slip out the back isn't too bad. Legendary creatures. Interesting. Yep. Swing with our Ledger Shredder. We do have the protection at least. We did miss our land drop, but we do have a way to protect our friend. Yeah, some people are, kind of screaming doomsday on this. I don't think it's that big of a deal. It's Rusko. Oh, see, now we're starting to really hurt. End turn. I mean, we do have counterspell up, which is good. Brainstorm, that I don't care enough about. We'll let that resolve. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's fine. I wonder if Wizards will update and change it just so that it's not something people can work around, because people are going to try and break and game the system now, but we'll see. I think Arena has a lot of changes and Brawl. Okay, so we're going to knife first. Still no land. Or tie, ironic. We're not getting Gen anytime soon. We are going to counter Brawl. You know, I know Arena has been talking lots about, let's go for Rusco. Get the clock out. Get us some mana. They've been talking about upgrading, changing, you know, moving eventually to 4-player. So everything is temporary. Things are always changing. So I'm excited to see where they go and how they kind of use this as a moment to grow. Okay, well, that was enough. We got there. It was an exciting game, but at least we got to talk a little bit. So GG's. Okay, we are going up going up against a Pantlaza deck. Okay, so this is going to be a big ol' stompy deck. Love the Ristic, love the Dark Ritual, but I don't think that's going to cut it. Oh, this is worse as well, because we are missing our mana pips. Our mana drain is super nice. Oh, we're going to keep it. You know, we go over this every video. I don't like mulliganing. So we're going to keep it. And we're just going to hope the best. Pass the turn. The nice thing is we do have the Gix, so at least we do have a turn 3 play. Opponent is also playing pretty slow, so I don't feel quite as bad. We're both playing good old-fashioned slow roll commander. Ooh. Okay, we did get our blue mana, thankfully. I think we're just going to go for Rusco and ramp us up a little bit more. So this attack, it gets a stun, so no sense attacking there. I was talking though on the previous games just a bit about the, you know, the big news. Ooh, an early Great Hand. That could be pretty detrimental. Just talking a lot about the kind of the Amazonian video discussing the graveyard. See, this is what I mean. I have such a hard time focusing on the topic. Anyways, just discussing kind of the hell queue getting kind of revealed to everybody and all the data being available. I think the most interesting part, what does this do? For each human, you may have that creature send damage as though it weren't blocked. So that's pretty bad. Is it worth losing Gix? Yeah, I think that's a game ender right there. So we're gonna block. I found the most interesting part about the whole thing is kind of how it got revealed, or how people figured out what was going on, and it was because somebody built a deck that was so underpowered that essentially the algorithm did not know what to do with it and gave them an error message. I think that is absolutely hilarious. Of all ways to figure that out is just to have oh, by the way, this deck, you can't play this deck. I think that's quite funny. I didn't do much that turn. I want to keep this mana drain up, assuming they go for their commander, which they do. And then also Rusco. I forget Rusco does a drain ability. I just view Rusco as a mana rock generator and not much else, so okay, and that was it. Well, we took down the Pantlaza player. Look at us go. Going up against another Grenzo deck. This Grenzo is the bane of my existence. Okay, what do we do with this hand? I like these cards. I'd like to make this hand work. Having the blue pip is a little annoying, or missing the blue pip, I should say. However, we still can get our Rona out using the Plaza, and then once we have Rona out, this taps for blue, and then we should be all good to go. Plaza of Heroes is such a auto include in almost all my decks now. I just adore this card. I think it works so well, especially in a more casual commander format. You know, this is obviously very aggressive, so it can be sometimes on the slow side, but Let's see. We're going to put down the Amber. In response, tap Rona. We're going to discard this Wonder, giving all our creatures flying. So that's great. I love that. I kind of want to keep up the negate mana. So that would leave us with a... Oh, no, this taps for blue. Thank you. This taps for blue. Let's just go 2. We'll deal with this IR now, because this gets out of hand real fast. And then we're going to not attack, pass turn. So if they go for any non-creature, that's a creature. You're supposed to cast a non-creature. That's why I kept up the counter magic. I tell ya. No! Not our Wonder! How dare they? Okay, well, let's get rid of the negate. So we lose our flying. That's so sad. We can meet hook, but I don't really see a point. We did miss a land drop, so why don't we go for Proph's Edict Memory, see if we can't get into a land. Not a land, though it is a removal spell, which is very good. Eldest Reborn's very good. Let's get rid of the ancient one. I think this might be too slow, especially if they're exiling our graveyard. Draws a card, draws a land. So feeling good about that. Don't have the mana quite for the Fateful Strike. We do have the Metlazani. Gosh, words. Another land. We're gonna get rid of that because we need islands anyways. Matzalani. That's the word I'm trying to say. Okay, see, that's a blue source. That I care more about. Let's get rid of the meat hook, I guess. Okay, Rona is a 5/7, so let's get some damage in. I'm a little nervous to not have the slip out the back mana up. I really, really hope Rona survives. We'll see how aggressive they're going, if they're just trying to build up their board state real fast. Okay, Chromatic Lantern. I think we might be safe. Yeah, our graveyard's getting picked apart, which, you know, it is what it is. They have more than 4 cards, the exile cards equal to the difference. So let's just get this down first. We play this. We do have some mana left over. So let's see. We're gonna hit you first. We're gonna do this little thing. We're gonna draw this card. Agadeem's, unfortunately, I don't think is going to be. Well, Mana Play XLS, yeah. I don't think that's what we need right now. Opponent has to exile a card from their hand as well. How much mana are they on? They're on 4 mana, so no Grenzo next turn yet. But we do have to remember that that is most likely coming. Let's go Matzalani, Dying to Serve. Love this card. I feel like it's just too slow at this point. Well, so is Malcolm. We'll keep Malcolm. We'll keep the slip up the back mana up. Rona goes to a 7/9. Oh, jeez. I don't think I've ever seen a big Rona. A bigger Rona. The nice thing, too, is when we do flip Rona, all those counters come with it. So it's going to be an 11/11. Which is kind of fun. Little neat synergy there. Or a Brask. Okay. I'm feeling pretty good about this. Does Malcolm have Flash? Malcolm does have Flash. Let's get Malcolm out. We'll untap Rona. We'll tap Rona. Okay, end step. Draw, discard. I think we are fine if we keep those. Okay. Annoyingly, they do have the rats they can sacrifice to the Eldest Reborn, so we can't hit the Urabrask that way. And then Rona costs 5 mana to flip. Do we just flip Rona and hang out? Let's do this first. Draw. Ooh, discard. So we want different card types. What do we have in our graveyard so far? Sorcery, enchantment, instant, enchantment, sorcery. Do we go for the Teferi in hopes of getting this to flip? People are going to be mad at me and say that's a terrible decision. But I'm going to do it anyways. Like this. We'll auto pay. Okay, we have an 11-11. That's alright. We have a 12-12. We're going to swing in. They have to block with the Urabrask. And if they do, they don't. So we win. Okay. All right, well, GG's. All right, we are going up against an Atraxa deck. All right, I'm quite certain we are in health queue. Again, not complaining. I did this to myself. It's fine. Keep 7. You know, I mean, I have some nasty things in this deck. I tried to not go super interest tap. Try not to go like super oppressive. I don't really run any hand disruption. I never have. I don't know like real specific reason why. It's just let's get Risco out. That's not a bad turn 2 play. I also don't really run extra turn spells. So, you know, I don't know if that maybe brings down my power level slightly, but I make up for it in these other cards. I think Scarab God's probably very high. I know Rusco is like sets off alarm bells for the algorithm. Ancient One, I don't know. I don't know. I still don't know how good this card is, but I like it. It synergizes with graveyard related stuff. So it has a home here. The real question is, what kind of Atraxa are we up against? Is it a Planeswalker build? Is it a Poison build? Usually a Planeswalker build, but you never know. So Virtue, I kind of want to save. It is a sorcery, which is kind of annoying. So we're just going to go for the commander, I think. We can go for the Ancient One. I don't know if there's much value in that at the moment. I'd rather be able to, you know, tap Rona to draw, untap Rona, kind of do the Rona thing. So can't do that if she's summoning sick. So we're gonna hang out and probably cast the Ancient One next turn. Atraxa comes down. No proliferation targets. That's good. We do need a removal spell. Post haste. Yeah, because the Virtue unfortunately doesn't cut it. We could kind of trick the opponent into maybe blocking with Atraxa and doing kind of that whole rigmarole, but I don't really see too much value in that. Okay, so we're gonna go here, see what we get. We get an Iron Crag. That's not a bad hit. I think I'd rather that over the Ancient One. And the nice thing now is we have double draw. So Rona will net us 1 card. So instead of draw 1, discard 1, we'll draw 2, discard 1. Ooh, Planeswalker build. We figured it out. We solved the mystery. And counters. Oh my gosh, the synergies. Swinging with Atraxa. Sure, we'll do this now. Draw 2. Breach the Multiverse. Oh, gotta love that one. Okay, and Rankle. That could prove useful. Okay, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 5 mana. I hate having discard Scarab God, but it just feels a little too slow still. Okay, we hit our land drop. Fantastic. Okay, Rankle Iron Crag. Rona can transform. Let's get you out. Feel a little bit in trouble. I was hoping the Virtue could get rid of the Grazer and Rankle could deal with Atraxa, but discard a card. Let's discard a land. We did hit the Cycryph though, so we can bounce Atraxa. 1, 2, 3, and then we could breach next turn if we wanted. So if we do this, we do not have the mana up for Cycryph. So unfortunately, we need to just pass. No attacks. End turn. Resolve. Yeah, we'll see what they hit. Or not hit. We should see what they play next turn. I still think Atraxa will be the Cycryph target. I guess the alternate would be to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The alternate would just to Cycryph everything and just eat the damage. Nissa. Yeah, that might be. Encounters. Whenever you gain life, put a counter. Alright, so this is a good mix of both counters and planeswalkers. That's kind of cool. Okay. So it's kind of a do or die. Do we... they also gain 7 life. We're going to bounce the Atraxa. Because the thing is, if we get to 7 mana, I kind of want to breach anyways. So we'll go here, draw 2, discard the Bajuka Bog. That's too slow. My turn. So we did hit our 7th mana. We do also get the clock to go off, which is fantastic. All right. Well, let's do it. Let's see what we hit. Oh. Interesting. Clock went off in time. Hopefully then we hit something good. Oh, we hit a Gingertaxis. Okay. Oh, good things. Good things. All right. We're going to take the Garruk and the Jin. All right. There it is. Oh, I've never had clock go off before. That was the first time. That's so exciting. Well, it was Atraxa. I don't feel bad. GG's. All right, so today we're playing Rona, Herald of Invasion. This is a kind of a personal pet deck of mine I've had for quite a while, and I've just been keeping up with it as new cards come out and all the new sets. In case you don't know, Rona is a 2-mana 1/3 with whenever you cast a legendary spell, untap Rona. And then the second most important ability, possibly the first, I don't know, it depends. Tap, draw a card, then discard a card. So this is really what I built the deck around. Rona does actually have an ability to flip into a Phyrexian Obliterator type effect. I don't really use it too much. It's kind of more of you know, if I need a big creature or if I maybe just need to get a finisher in there to finish off. But the backside says whenever a source deals damage to Rona, that source's controller exiles a card from their hand at random. If it's a land card, you may put on the battlefield. Otherwise, you may cast it without paying its mana cost. So it's still really good. I just really try and focus around the front side just to not get the deck too kind of all over the place. So I broke it down kind of like I do all the time. I originally had all my legend spells in one category, and it was just like this one long list that went on forever. So I ended up just still breaking it out kind of by category, and I'll just kind of point out a few cards that I think are worth mentioning. In our mana acceleration, we have the Mox Amber and Ironcrag. I just have these two in it because they're both legendary, so they do trigger Rona just for that extra card draw. This next category is kind of just miscellaneous. You could probably put them under draw, under removal, but these are just some of the legendary cards I have in here that I enjoy running. I mean, Liliana, we all know. All these cards are pretty common. This is probably one of the most toxic decks, I would say. I have ones that have a lot of high power cards that you see that people hate going against. I am part of the problem, I know, but most of my decks are fine. Next category is kind of a protection. We have Slip Out the Back is just a nice little, you know, oop, didn't see me. Saves you from a board wipe, saves you from removal, which will happen. Kira just counters things. It's great up against a deck that runs a lot of removal. However, if you target your own thing, with Slip Out the Back and Kira's out, it will counter it. So just keep that in mind. Mithril Coat, legendary, and also protection. So it belongs in this deck. Here are all my card draw. There's a lot of draw in this deck. It's Dimir. Dimir likes to draw cards. So we have like the Fairy Mastermind, the Ledger Shredder, Malcolm. Cross Edict Memory is a recent add. This card is fantastic in this deck. When it enters, you draw a card, so it's a 2-man draw, which is nice. No maximum hand size, which is also nice. The most important part is at the beginning of combat on your turn, if you draw on cards more than one card this turn, you put X counters on it, where X is the number of cards you've drawn this turn, -1. Fantastic. You draw a lot in this deck, and it can help you win games. Ristic Study, we know this. Gix, we know. Matsalani, fantastic. If you can get all the different card types, this thing taps for 1,000,000 mana. Teferi's Aegis Insight makes Rona now, instead of being, you know, net neutral for cards, you're up 1 card because you're drawing 2, discarding 1. Rest of these, you know, Watcher, I don't think should be in this category. This should be in Payoff, but whatever. You get Tentacles, essentially. If you use Rona on your opponent's turn, you get a chump blocker, which we love. Here we have some more mana acceleration. I did not organize this well at all. These should be over here. Hold on. Uno momento. Here's more mana acceleration. Brusco creates a midnight clock. Honestly, that's the main reason why I have it in here. Relic of Legends, fantastic. You tap your Legends. I think this goes in any Legends Matter deck. And then Dark Ritual, we know that card. Okay, as we were, here's a removal category. The only thing really worth noting, Meat Hook is legendary, so this will trigger Rona. Isildur's Fateful Strike, great removal spell, especially if your opponent has a lot of cards in hand. However, legendary instants need to have a legendary card on the battlefield, otherwise you cannot cast them. So a lot of people get mixed up on that. You cannot do anything. This card is dead if you have no legendary creatures in play, and I think it's only creatures as well. Let's confirm that. Only if you control a legendary creature or planeswalker. Yeah, so bit of a risky card, but in a deck that cares about legends, I think it's good enough to run. Here is our counter magic. I know I'm running 5 counter spells. It's very unlike me. I'm like a 2 counter spell max kind of person, but you know, this is kind of the deck we're playing today. Here's all my recursion. We have both of the new Lazavs. Again, they're pretty good, especially if you're filling your graveyard with a lot of scary things. Elders Reborn, removal, and recursion. Scarab God, fantastic in this deck. Reach the Multiverse, my favorite card. One of my favorite cards. Probably my favorite card that came out last year. I just adore this card. It's so bonkers good. Shieldred, Virtual Persistence, Egadine's Awakening. All ways to get things out of your graveyard. Last category, cares about discarding in one way or another. Ancient One, you know, you need a lot of stuff in your bin before this card becomes useful, but it does have a loot effect if you need that. Containment Construct is great because you can essentially, the way I like to use it is I just discard lands and then I can just play the land immediately after, so you're not really losing any cards with Containment Construct. Dying to Serve, you're creating zombies every time you loot. Wonder is so good in this deck because you just discard this and now all your stuff is flying. How easy. It's like no effort. You don't have to cast it or anything. It just ends up in your graveyard. Archfiend is probably one of the most powerful cards in a discard strategy because it puts -1 counters on each creature your opponent controls every time you discard. So having this card out with Rona, it's nasty. And then Sir Conrad again, just to kind of get some extra support and synergies with all our discarding. Yeah, that's a list. I hope you enjoyed this deck. It's a little different from what I normally play, but also it is a pet deck of mine and something I don't think I've shown on the channel yet. So hopefully you enjoyed it. Let me know if you could leave a like, leave a comment, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.